SCA Minhag of the Week, Life Cycles. Swanee. What is the Swanee? What does the word mean? Where does it come from? What's it tied into? Why do we do it? So, first and foremost, the Swanee was a ritual associated with the mikveh, the bride going to the mikveh for the first time prior to her marriage. Swanee is a corruption of the word Swanee. Swanee is the plural of the word saniya. Saniya is a tray, so Swanee are trays. In the Halabi tradition, day or two prior to the bride going to the mikveh, the groom would send over 3 trays, specifically 3 trays. Those 3 trays would correspond to the word ve'erastich. When men put on tefillin every morning, they wrap the strap around the middle finger, saying 2 pesukim from Hosea, ve'erastich le'olam, ve'erastich li b'sedek u'b'mishpat u'b'hesed u'rachamim, ve'erastich li b'emunah ve'yadat Adonai. Ve'erastich, and I betroth, and I engage. So here the man is showing what he does every day. He gets engaged. He's now showing the purity of his intentions in sending the 3 trays corresponding to the 3 ve'erastichs to his bride-to-be, that he's coming in with pure intentions to get engaged and get married. Even though they're already engaged, this is the final part of the engagement. Why 3 trays besides the ve'erastich? Each tray had a different purpose. The first tray held a purse or a pocketbook, and that pocketbook had the money for the mikveh. This purse was usually either silver or white or a combination of the two. The silver showing the extreme richness of the situation at hand, and the richness the bride was bringing into the home. The white would show the purity. This purse had the money for the mikveh, but not just for her, for the bride-to-be, but for the female family representatives that would join her, which included the mother, the mother-in-law, possibly some aunts, some sisters. It was an event, something that we don't have on the scale that existed in the past, but it was definitely an event. And generally there was a custom to have 101 coins in this purse. Second tray would have what was needed in the bathhouse, if you will: robe, towel, slippers, and something called beilun. Beilun was a type of clay that was native to Halab, and it had a property of cleansing and moisturizing both the skin and the hair. So this was also an important element of beautifying. And finally, the third tray was a tray that had 2 different things on it. It had a sweet called kak biloz, with a type of kak made out of almond flour, and it had 2 different spices, if you will, or we'll call herbs. One was habbat al-barakah, black nagella seeds, which habbat al-barakah meaning the seed of beracha, and the other one was henna. Henna, as you know, is like a red plant dye. And not that they had a henna party, but we'll talk about it in a second. So these were the 3 trays. These trays were also adorned with flowers. And these trays would be sent from the house of the groom to the house of the bride, and then they would be taken by the woman from the house of the bride to the mikveh. And that's where the Swanee was, and it was strictly for women, and it was only for women, items that the man would give to his bride-to-be, and there was nothing in return, no Swanee for men, that the woman would be giving to the man. That's something that's non-existent, okay? It exists now, but it didn't exist in the past. Now, back to the trays. As we heard, the first one had the money for the mikveh, the second were the items that she needed for the mikveh, for the hammam, and the third one had the ka'akbet laws, which the woman would eat and enjoy, and it had these two things, the habit al-barakah and the hanna. Both items will be thrown into the water of the mikveh. The habit al-barakah, as we said, is the seed of barakah. Throwing that into the mikveh water, the bride would be in there, would bring barakah to the union. And the henna was not to paint her palms or her soles, or her hair even, but rather it was to be thrown into the water. They looked at the word henna from the Hebrew root of hen being charm, and by throwing some henna into the water, it would bring charm to the woman, so she would always find charm, and her husband would see her as charming. And this was a beautiful custom that they had in Halab, and this was the original Swanee custom. In the following episode, we'll talk about how the Swanee adapted and evolved here in America, how it has changed, what parts are connected to the past and what parts aren't. Mabruk to all.